QBR. Okay. I'll start with the former Jet. Key, should the Jets bench Wilson?
Okay, so I don't think they should bench him today.
Okay.
What I think they should do is put him on notice. I think he goes in the Chicago Bears game, and if it's one of those situations where it's wobbly, now you go to Joe Flacco or Mike White. They split reps during this practice session this week, and that's how you get his attention. I don't think snatching the rug from underneath him, despite how poor he played against New England, is going to serve him well. He is a second-year quarterback that really hasn't had 2 full seasons. He's still trying to figure his way and figure things out. I understand what he said in his post-game presser. I understand all of that. He looked horrible. He looked like the 900 pick in the draft and not the second pick in the draft. But you cannot mess with young quarterbacks, or quarterbacks in general, their psyche. Quarterbacks are very fragile. They'll never admit it to you. They're very sensitive. They'll never admit that to you. So when you start playing around with him and benching him and bringing him out and doing it, once you make that decision to move on from him, you got to move on. You can't play games with him because he's young. So let's see how he does against Chicago the first quarter and a half or something like that. Then if he's not doing what you need him to do, now you make the decision to pull him, because if you pull him, you will lose him for good. Mark my words. So you got to be very delicate in dealing with him.
Well, let me come back at you with this, Keyshawn. You'll lose him for good. Fair enough. You said nothing that I could disagree with. But how about being found? Because I don't recall him finding him. I mean, this dude, he looks horrible. He looks absolutely horrible. So when you say you lose him for good, when did you have him? That's what I'm trying to come back with. You open the game after you started off the season injured. You open the season against Pittsburgh, completing 50% of your passes. I'm just looking at numbers here. He goes up against Green Bay, he completes 55% of his passes. Goes up against New England, completes 48% of his passes. Shows up against New England again, completes 40% of his passes. He looks like, it's like Fright Night. It's like Bill Belichick looked like Freddy Krueger, for crying out loud. That's how scared this brother appears. Zach Wilson I'm talking about here, okay? The only thing he's really made headlines for was some off-the-field stuff at the beginning of the season. That's about it. The fact of the matter is that I ain't going to go there. I ain't gonna do that to the brother. But the bottom line is that that's a fact. That's the only thing he made news for. Then you look at his performance. First of all, I'd have benched him that game. I tweeted during the game, watching him against New England. I said, yo, bench him. Bring in Flacco right now. You want to try to win this game. Get him out of there. Because he was completely lost. He was completely in over his head. But then here's where the part where I would challenge you on it. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just telling you I would strongly think about benching him. That post-game press conference where he's not accepting a culpability, I'd make him accept culpability by sitting on the bench. Now, the only reason why I'm inclined to agree with you, Key, is because they're going against Chicago. Who's the quarterback for Chicago?
Well, Justin Fields is.
Who should the Jets have drafted? Who does it
Justin
look like
Fields.
the Jets should have drafted?
Justin Fields.
Who was a whole bunch of people saying the New York Jets should have drafted? It's
Everybody
Justin Fields.
said it.
And so when I'm looking at it from that perspective, the only thing that would make me put him in the lineup, all right? And I don't know, is Justin Fields playing this week? Because I know he injured. I know he got injured.
They haven't said yet. He's got a little shoulder issue.
Okay, yeah, he got a little shoulder issue, right? Here's the only thing that would make me want to put Zach Wilson into this weekend. I want to see him go up against that brother that a whole bunch of people think they should have picked ahead of him. And if you wet the bed and don't show up against that brother, that seals your fate to me. That's the only thing that would make me inclined to give him a chance to be in that starting lineup this week.
I understand all of that. But he did just beat the Buffalo Bills and the Green Bay Packers a couple weeks ago. So if you wasn't going to bench him based on those performances, what are you really benching him for
154 yards, man.
But they still won the game.
Yeah,
so if you was okay with that,
if
you was okay with that against those teams because you won, why wouldn't you be okay with it when you lost to New England? Teach him a lesson by keeping him on a tight leash. And at the end of the day, if he doesn't do what he needs to do against Chicago, I'm all for it. I've been on teams, okay? Sean King was a quarterback in Tampa Bay.
Right.
He took them to the NFC Championship with a Super Bowl defense. Wow. The reason they didn't get over the hump, you had a young quarterback that didn't take it serious. The moment that they had an opportunity to go get a veteran like Brad Johnson, they went out and got Brad. I was with the New York Jets in 1998. We started Glenn Foley. We got off to a okay shaky start. The moment Parcells realized that we had a championship caliber team, Glenn Foley was standing over there with him, and Vinny Testaverde was in the game. I don't know that you have that with Joe Flacco. So why not let the kid see if he can turn things around? You meet with him in your office, which I'm sure Robert Saleh's already done, and tell him, don't ever do that again, what you did in that post game. Because if you do, your butt gonna be over here with me the rest of the season. That's how you send the message into such due time that he continues to screw things up.
Yeah, but maybe the locker room's over.
Hold on. But that's where I was going, Molly. Key, I get where you're coming from. You know better than me. I'll defer to you. What I will say is this, though. Isn't it potentially too late because you already turned off your teammates, not just by your performance, but by not accepting accountability? Don't they look at? They're looking at these are grown men, Key. That are looking at a 22-year-old that's looking at a 22-year-old, and they're questioning whether he's enough of a man to belong in that locker room. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.